Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at the Aromamizer Plus V2 RDTA by STEAMCRAVE, and I am super excited. Like, you have no idea. You have no idea the excitement that I have. I have been using the original Aromamizer Plus for over 3 years now, almost 3.5 years, and have loved it ever since then. You will always find me with this being used. It's always in my rotation. I've absolutely loved it. I actually loved it even more when they came out with the bubble glass, which made it 15 ml capacity. You actually had 10 ml glass that it came with, and you can purchase the 15 ml glass separate. So that was awesome. Then you also had the option to make it 20 ml. So it had a glass like this. It literally had additional chambers to put in it to make it tall enough to where you can actually use this with 20 ml e-liquid capacity. Now they have the Aromamizer Plus V2. Right now, the way that it's set up, I'm getting 23 ml capacity. Yes, just like that. 15 ml, 23 ml capacity. And it can get even bigger if you want to use your 20 ml capacity on here, and you can build on it. So I'm really excited. I'm going to show you this down below. We're going to go down. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to show you all the parts about it. But anything that you have for the original Aromamizer Plus, you can now use on the Aromamizer Plus V2. That includes the decks, that includes the glass, that includes the inner chambers to extend it or reduce it. Anything you want to do with it, you can actually do on here. Now, if you're not familiar with the Aromamizer Plus, this is an actual RDTA. I like to say RDTA that you can use as an RDA. You can use it as an RTA, RDTA, either way. And what was different was that you had different glass capacities or different e-liquid capacities. And you can also convert it to an RDA if you want to use it, which I always thought was great when it first came out. So now you can still do all those things, but it's even got this 8 ml capacity chamber extension. So you can actually use that to add an additional 8 ml capacity to whatever you have on it. So yeah, let's go ahead and go down. We're going to take a look at this bad boy up close. Then we're going to come up. We're going to vape on it. We're going to talk on it, pros and cons. So let's go down and look at the Aromamizer Plus version 2 RDTA by STEAMCRAVE. Okay, so here we are with the Aromamizer Plus V2 RDTA. There can be only one, and there has been only one for over 3.5 years for me. So now we have the V2 version. This is the box that it comes in, and that's that. It's going to come in 3 colors at the moment: stainless steel, black, and gunmetal. The stainless steel is out. The black and gunmetal, they're still working on as of today. It's going to be released soon. And this again is the sample packaging. The full packaging will have additional information on the box, and you open it up. Now inside, you're going to get your Aromamizer Plus mesh deck kit, which we'll go over, and you're going to get your RDTA. You're going to get an 8 ml capacity extension for e-liquid. You're going to get a spare glass. This glass and this glass do hold 8 mils. You're going to get 2 6 millimeter reducers. And then you're going to get your tri-tool, and you're going to get an extra bag of O-rings and grub screws and things like that. And we'll go over that. So let's go ahead and take out the RDTA. And we're also going to be taking out this piece. We're going to be taking out one of these. And there's 2 of them. They're both exactly the same. They're just to reduce the chamber for the airflow. And I'll show you how that works. And then we're going to be going over the Aromamizer Plus mesh deck. Now, I did do a dedicated video to the Aromamizer Plus mesh deck kit, so I'm not going to go too far into it, but we are going to talk about that. Then underneath, of course, you're going to be getting your sticker, STEAMCRAVE sticker. You're also going to be getting your manual, your user manual. You can have a 3 ml capacity with the RDA because you can convert this to an RDA just like the original. You can have 16 mils, which this has the extension on it, and then you can have an 8 ml e-liquid capacity with just regular the way that it comes. You're going to have your RDTA. This is a 30 millimeter RDTA or RTA. I consider it an RTA, but I know why it's called an RDTA, and that's because it actually pulls the e-liquid from the bottom. But in my opinion, I love it as an RTA. On top, it's going to say Aromamizer Plus V2 RDTA. It does have an 810 drip tip, and it does come in different colors depending on which color RDTA you received. This one did come with a red one, and it does have the O-ring right inside. But it fits any of your standard 810 drip tips just like that. It does have top fill, just like the original Aromamizer Plus. You do have top fill. All you need to do is just open up right here, and you're gonna have two massive kidney holes right there and right there. Easy to fill, super, super easy. This is a 30 millimeter RDTA. This is what the bottom of it looks like, designed by BJ She. That's always. And then it does have a protruding 510. This also has the same exact but reversed juice flow control and airflow control. Now on the original, the juice flow control was on the bottom and the airflow control was on the top. They did reverse this. So just like on the original, whenever you're filling it, you want to have it locked. Whenever you're using it, you want to have it open. Okay, and then in addition to that, you've actually got 1, 2, 3 different types of airflow configuration. Whereas on the original, you only had one and you can actually cater it down. So this was the one, and then you would have to reduce it, you would just go ahead and turn the airflow, and you can actually reduce it like this, but you can never really get it all the way down. So with this one, you can actually have it fully all the way open, which is how I like to use it. I do use it with it fully open like this, or you can have it with just 2 slots open, which you would just move it over here and it's 2 slots open. You can cut it down to just 1 slot. So you do have 3 different airflow control options, which I think is amazing. It's still got that honeycomb type of airflow, the same as the other one. It's just not fully open the way that it was, but it vapes very much the same. So to get into it, what you're going to do is go ahead and just open up the base just like you did on the original Aromamizer Plus. The only difference is with this one, the bottom, they did put knurling on it to help you grip it, which I think is a definite upgrade from the original. This is what the bottom of this one looks like. Bottom of the original one actually had the controls because your juice flow control was on the bottom, it controlled it here. Well, now that the juice flow control is on the top, it's no longer in the base. So your base is basically just like this. So now it works exactly the same. You're going to be able to pull out your deck and you can use any of the 5 decks that they have. They have a postless, which it comes with. It also comes with, included in here, is going to be your mesh deck. You're also going to have a series deck, a single coil deck, or a velocity deck that you can use in this, the same that you can use in the Aromamizer Plus original. So what you do is you go ahead and remove your deck. I have been using this, so I do have mine already built, but we'll go over the wicking on that. And then this is what the inside looks like. You've got your airflow right there. Your juice flow is right here. And then right in there is where, just in case you're not used to the Aromamizer Plus, the original one, this is where it has some grooves. Those grooves actually match up to the indents right here. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit on this side and this side. Those actually fit into here. So when you're putting your deck in, you have to make sure that you're lining up those grooves. If not, it will leak. It will not close all the way. So you just take those grooves and you're going to make sure that they are actually equal to that. It has to be flush. Again, if you don't have it installed correctly and this is not flush in there, then what's going to happen is that it's going to stay open a little bit like that, and you're going to have leaking. So you have to make sure that your deck is literally perfectly in there and flat. Now, I know that you see the holes right here. You do not push your cotton through. That is very, very important. That is where your juice is going to come up, or your e-liquid is going to come up and saturate your wicks. So make sure that you do not force through your cotton. We're going to actually be doing some wicking on this anyway, so I'll show you that in a little bit. Now, again, it does come apart. Okay, and then this does fully come apart so that you can change it out. Now, say for instance that I want to make this 16 mil capacity. That's when this comes in, this little extra piece. This right here is 8 milliliter metal extension. To extend it to giving you an additional 8 mils of capacity, meaning it's going to convert this from an 8 mil capacity RDTA to a 16 mil capacity RDTA, all you have to do is just literally screw this on. This piece here automatically has a chamber in it right there. It's already screwed in there. So now your RDTA has a 16 mil capacity. Now, you might be asking, if you are an owner of the original Aromamizer Plus, does it fit those glasses as well? Yes, it can fit the 5 mil glass, the 10 mil glass, or even the 20 mil glass. The difference with the 20 mil glass is that you're going to still use the extensions from the original Aromamizer Plus 20 mil glass extension. Now to make this, say for instance, I want to use the 10 ml glass or the bubble glass, which I love my bubble glass. Right now, STEAMCRAVE does not have the bubble glass. They have discontinued it for now. I'm hoping that they bring it back because that's a big seller. But if I wanted this 15 ml glass to be put on here, I can use it, but I have to use the extension that is for the 10 ml or the 15 ml bubble glass from the original Aromamizer Plus. You can also purchase those on the website though. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you how to actually convert it to this. Can add this on with the bubble glass too. That would then give you 15 mils with the bubble glass and additional 8 mils with this, making it a 23 millimeter RDTA and not looking too tall. So that is actually, you can take this apart so that you can clean out the glass. You're gonna have to take off the top and the bottom. So what you can do is you can use the same metal, the same ceramic tweezers and just put it in here, and this will help you actually release it so that you can take it further apart. Now, for me to use the bubble glass, I would have to take it apart. Here's your 8 ml glass. And this extension piece here, or this chimney piece here, would have to be removed. And then I would have to use my original extension piece, which is from the Aromamizer Plus. So what I would do is just take that extension piece from my Aromamizer Plus, put it in here. Once this is in here, then it's extended enough to put either the straight glass from the Aromamizer Plus or the bubble glass. So you do need that extension. This is very, very versatile. Anything that you can do on the Aromamizer Plus, you can do on here. Now, once this is taken apart, I'm just going to put it on my Lumi skull. Once this is taken apart, then you can actually move your juice flow control is actually movable here. And you can change your airflow control. Really nice. One thing I do recommend you doing, only if yours is super tight. Now the first, I think it was the first 100 that came out, they did make it where the O-rings are just a little bit snug, but you can go ahead and lube them up and it'll make it a little bit looser. And to do that, when it's in this state right here and you've taken off the glass, you can actually pop open the juice flow control. This is the juice flow control. Sorry, I've been testing it out, so it is wet from washing it. This is the juice flow control. Rather than having it on the bottom as it was on the original Aromamizer Plus, they've actually put it in the middle now. So what you can do is you can take this off. When you do, you can lube up this O-ring right here, or you can actually lube up the O-ring that is in here as well, because this does come further apart. See, it all comes apart. You can lube up this O-ring right there. This one here is what you're gonna need more lubed up so that when it turns, it actually sinks in. And then to put it together, really, really simple. What you're gonna do is make sure that it's on the opposite sides of the airflow. You're gonna drop it in so that the airflows are open just like that, and it goes together. Now, another thing is that the airflow control might be a little stiff as well. You can just go ahead and remove it just like on the original, except for in this case, it comes up, it doesn't go down. So all you have to do is just go ahead and remove this. Now, if you're using the mesh deck or the single coil deck and it's too airy, what you can do and what they do recommend is to take off the airflow ring. Try to do it carefully so you don't break any of your O-rings, and flip it over the other way. You can tell that it's flipped over because now your two airflow holes are actually going to be at the top rather than on the bottom. And that way, when you're using it, it's actually going to lift up the airflow to hit the mesh a little bit better, as well as the single coil. So they do recommend doing that. I personally, it doesn't bother me. I use it the same way, but it does make a difference when you're using the mesh to flip it upside down. Again, when you're doing this, you do want to make sure that you're being really careful not to break these O-rings. They do give you extra O-rings, but what I do is I just lube those up, and then this will go right back on. See, really nice and easy. You might get some e-liquid on you, but hey, no bother. So that's all you have to do. And then to make sure that it's flush. If there's a space here, it's not going to go all together. So you have to make sure that you have that there. And you're going to take this piece and you're going to check where the grooves are right there. You see the little nub right there? You're going to make sure that it's in there like that. And then push it down and it's going to be flush. And you'll be able to see your lock and unlock so that you know that you have it the right way. Once this is done, then you can decide which extension you want to put in. You can do all this with the extension out as well. But I want to put on the bubble glass, so I'm just going to go ahead and put the tall one in there, which is the one from my original Aromamizer Plus. Just go ahead and put that over there like that. And yes, you can use the extension once you have this as well. So now I have it there. I'm going to go ahead and lay my bubble glass right there. And then you can go ahead and put the top on. Just now this, see right here, this threading is what threads into the chamber. So no matter which one you use, that's how it gets put together and tightened up. So you're just going to turn that there. Again, you can use the straight 10 mil glass as well from your Aromamizer. I personally just love my bubble glass. Like, I use it religiously. So I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this up because you do want it tightened. Make sure it's on there tight. Okay. And now if I want to, I can add the extension and make it 23 mils, 23 mil capacity. How crazy is that? Now that is enough e-liquid, isn't it? All you do is just tighten it on there like that and then fill it up. If you have the single coil deck or you have the mesh deck in it, what you can do is it actually fits right into the chamber. So say for instance, I have the bigger one in there and I want to reduce it. All I have to do is just put it in like this and this will reduce it. See how it made it smaller? Now this is without it and this is with it. It just reduces the airflow. So I have a dedicated video already to the mesh deck. So I'm not really going to go over the mesh deck. We'll go ahead and use the postless deck because I do, and I'll go ahead and leave the link down below for the mesh deck. It's specifically just for that. But let me go ahead and show you everything that comes with the kit. Now with this, because I purchased my deck separately on my own, it was not sent to me. This was sent to me for review and for testing. Okay, one thing I do love about this is look at how they give it to you. You have everything in there. Now, this is the tool to help you round your coil. This is the mesh strips, which you can use any mesh strips. This comes with Kanthal 1 mesh strips that are good between 35 and 70 watts. This is what I currently have in my mesh deck, and it ohms out to around 0.15. Again, it's Kanthal. Inside, you're also going to get this Squonk Pin. The Squonk Pin is for when you have this in RDA mode. To have this in RDA mode, what you're going to do is you're actually just going to take off, well, the extension, of course, and you're going to take off the glass and you're going to take out the inner chamber. No matter if you have the 8 milliliter glass or with this, just take it out and then you're just going to close up the top right on it. That makes it a 3 mil capacity RDA if you want to do that. Now, again, that's great. For an RDA, it's best used with the mesh deck, which is what this comes with, which is, so it does come with the mesh deck, which is why they give you that, that's why they give you the Squonk Pin, and then the mesh deck comes out like this. There's the extra, and these are extra screws, O-rings, and the Squonk Pin. And then it comes with the extra deck, which is mesh. Again, this is the same one that I purchased for the original Aromamizer Plus, same exact one as that one. So you can go ahead and watch that review and you will see this one. And again, it was dedicated just to that. So it shows you how to wick it, how to coil it and everything. Now you can use any type of mesh strips with this. You can use the ones that come with it. You can use some off mesh strips if you want to. You can use some Watofa ones. This is the one for the profile 1.5 RDA. You can use that one. It's wide enough to take any of those. So it's up to you which ones you want. And you can also purchase some of the Kanthal ones directly from STEAMCRAVE. These I purchased myself. I use it all the time. So these are good as well. And that's the mesh deck. This is the velocity deck now, and it's basically just that right there. So you have the velocity deck. We've got the original postless deck. You've got the mesh deck. You've also got the single coil deck. The single coil deck I did have for my Aromamizer limited edition. Did have a single coil deck, so I've actually got that review as well. And then they've got the series deck. Now the series deck, what that does is it actually doubles the resistance of your individual coil. So say for instance that you have a coil that a single coil ohms out at 0.10. If you put two of them in here, it would actually increase it to a 0.20 with the two. Instead of dividing it in half, it actually doubles to increase. So that is what a series deck is. And these coils are 4 millimeter in height if you're using the coily tool. I recommend the coily tool, and I'm going to tell you how I actually determined that. If you have the coily tool, not the tools that are included with the RDAs and things like that, If you have this coily tool, there are two ways to measure it. You can measure it when it's postless, and you can measure it when it has a post. So in this case, when I wanted to know exactly how tall or what size to use, you take the flat side and you lay it right on that lip, right there. And at 4 millimeters, it's perfect. So right there, it's perfect. You see how it lines up evenly? That's how you determine what size millimeter coils or how long you want your coils on a postless deck. Just use your coily tool. My coils are already heated up, so all I need to do now is just wick it. And I do like to use my Kendo Vape Cotton Gold Edition. This is my favorite cotton to use. Another great thing about this RDTA is the fact that you can actually switch out your decks when you have e-liquid in it. All you have to do is just turn it upside down. You decide that you want to use the single coil. You decide that you want to use the series deck. You decide that you want to use the mesh deck. All you need to do is just tip it upside down and take it off. That's all. So you never lose your e-liquid capacity ever with your Aromamizer Plus. And that's with either the original or the V2, which I think is just amazing. I think the STEAMCRAVE makes an amazing product, not because they sent it to me. I actually purchased my original one by myself over almost 3.5 years ago, and I fell in love with it right then and there with my original postless deck. So yes, there we go. And pull it through. Now I am going to tell you that you want your cotton snug within the coils. If it's too loose, you will get like gurgling and stuff. So I always pack it kind of tight in there. And the coils that I'm using in here are actually my Coil Clout Fuse Claptons. I've always used them in my Aromamizer Plus, and this one's no different. You can get at Coil Clout right there. You can get them right there. Just use the coupon code Wendy and you get a discount. For now, I mean, that great. Absolutely love Coil Clout coils. I've been using them. I want to say it's been 2 years now. And I absolutely love them. So there we go. We've got that in there. Just going to get my handy dandy tweezers and I'm going to start fluffing it out. Now, one thing that on the postless decks, a lot of people ask me, tell me that they have problems wicking it. So that's why I wanted to dedicate this video on the wicking of the postless deck rather than the mesh deck, because I have a dedicated video just for the mesh. The only difference is that it's on the Aromamizer Plus, the original, rather than the V2, but it's the same exact process. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut it right there. And I cut it right there. And I'm still going to be fluffing it out. I just like to take a lot of the excess off, and I'm going to fluff it out more. I like to fluff it out to the point where like it's almost see-through, because that way it absorbs better. So I just go back and forth, and I'll show you how to check to see if you have too much cotton. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. I do it by the sides. I do it by the top. There's been times I've done it on the bottom. And it takes a little bit of extra time to care for it, but it works absolutely perfectly. I've been doing this for over 3 years and I've never had any issues. I don't get any leaking. I don't get any dry hits. But the good thing is if you don't get it right the first time, you can take this apart and you can go ahead and re-wick it and then put it right back together. So that is an amazing part of this RDTA, which is what made me a fan from the first place. And then you're just going to go ahead and lay them in here. Again, we're not going to put it through the holes there. You'd never want to poke it through the bottom holes. And then what I do to test it is I just press against it and I make sure that it doesn't feel too thick. You see? And I'm going to do the same thing for this side. Just going to go ahead and lay that right in there. Lay this over here. And this one is a little bit thicker, so I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, put that there. See? And it's not too thick. Just like that. It's not too thick. And that's what it looks like. So now you have to do is just go ahead and put e-liquid on it. And for the e-liquid that I'm using, I'm actually using my personal blueberry cake, which is actually a dupe for the Glass Basics. It's my all-time favorite that I make. Because I do DIY e-liquid on Monday. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. We do a live stream 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday. And I'm just going to turn this up, and then I drop some on the coil, and then I pulse it. And the reason why you want to do this is because we want to get the cotton wet within the coil because that way you're not getting any dry hits. You're not getting any cotton flavor. It's literally gonna be prepping the cotton for you. So there you go. And you'll see it come out the ends, and that's perfect. Back to your RDTA. And again, we're gonna look for the grooves. You see the grooves there? We're gonna line it up with the grooves on here. So there we go. You see where it is right there? We're gonna make sure it's absolutely perfect. It clicks right into place and it's completely flat. Again, you do not see cotton coming out of those holes. It should not be coming out of those holes. And again, make sure that your deck is on there flush, just like that. If it's poking out just a little tiny bit, it's not gonna be a good day. So I always double check it. There we go. Yep, everything's good. Now all you have to do is just put your base on. And then you're gonna put this on. Just like that, and make sure that everything is flush. So there shouldn't be any gaps anywhere. Again, putting the e-liquid on there does make a difference. Before you start putting any e-liquid, you always want to make sure that your lock is in the lock position. Now with the original Aromamizer, whenever you put your deck in and you screw down the base, it automatically put it in the lock position. It does not do that on this one, since the mechanism for the juice flow control is actually in the middle. On the bottom it did, but not in the middle. So always make sure that the juice flow control is closed when you're gonna fill it. What I also do is close down the airflow control as well. So I want both the juice flow and the airflow closed down. That way there's no leaking. And then we're just gonna fill it up. So I'm just gonna take my e-liquid. Now with the 15 ml bubble glass, 8 ml here, I've got 23 mils I could put in here. Okay. And you can see right in there that it's past the glass. And then you're just gonna take your top and you're gonna go ahead and close it up. Once you have the top closed up, and then you can open your juice flow. You're just gonna turn it from here. Right now it's on lock. I'm gonna unlock it. As it's unlocking, you're gonna see the bubbles. That means that it's wicking efficiently, and you're gonna open up your airflow. And there we go. This is the Aromamizer Plus V2 by STEAMCRAVE. Let's go ahead and take it on top. We'll have a vape, pros and cons. We are with the Aromamizer Plus version 2 RDTA by STEAMCRAVE. And before anything, I'm gonna show you this thing and how it performs. I do have the airflow wide open. I do have the 15 ml bubble glass on it with the 8 ml extension. So 23 mils in total. I do need to make some more e-liquid because I do not have enough room for 23 mils, but we're gonna go ahead and do this. So let's take a look. Same great flavor, if not even a little bit better, more capacity. You can use any of the parts from the Aromamizer Plus version 1, the first original one, or the limited edition one. It will work on this. So I'm absolutely loving that about this. Now, unfortunately, they don't sell the bubble glass separate anymore on STEAMCRAVE's website. You might be able to Google it and find it on other websites, but I'm not sure. I'm hoping STEAMCRAVE is watching this and they're gonna bring it back, because the bubble glass was like huge for me. I absolutely love it. So with this RDTA, what are the differences compared to the original Aromamizer Plus, which is always in my daily? I don't even know what to say. If anybody knows me, they know that I love this thing. So many people in my group. I think my group is now the Aromamizer Plus group, because just about half of the group, I want to say, has the Aromamizer Plus because they know how much I love it. Now, with this one, I'm going to tell you, it looks a little wonky. It's very, very tall when you have the additional 8 ml capacity extension, but you don't have to use it. You can just use the bubble glass just like you do on this one if you want to. You can also use the 8 ml glass. Now, when using the 8 ml glass, you can use this extension and you automatically get 16 mils. So that when I used it like that, it lasted me a lot longer. And this is what it looks like in the 16 ml capacity. So this has the original glass, the 8 ml glass, plus the additional 8 ml capacity with the metal extension to make it 16 ml capacity like this. So let's go ahead and have a vape. Amazing. I do like this. I just don't like that I can't see through it. Not that you need to, because you can see the bottom portion. So it's really, you know, the only thing I did not show you is that you could actually use this on the base without a glass. So you can have just an 8 ml capacity without the glass. But for me, I would be so scared of not knowing my e-liquid capacity to where I might get a dry hit. I hate those. Or if I'm using the mesh, I won't be able to know and I'm going to get a dry hit because there's no more e-liquid in it. Being that I can't see the e-liquid capacity, that to me is a no-no. But that's just my personal opinion. That's how I feel about it. Did I test it out that way? Yes. Do I like it that way? No. Just honest. Now, the airflow options. I absolutely love that they added the options for the airflow. I think this is going to be extremely good for those of you out there that thought that it was too airy, which a lot of people did. But then they could cut it down to that little slit or a little half of it or anything like that. Now you don't have to. You don't just have this option anymore. You've actually got 3 different airflow options. And that to me is huge on this. This was already a bestseller. This was already so perfect for me. To make it even more perfect, I don't know what they were thinking about because they did it. They really did. The airflow control, you can have it fully wide open as I showed you. You can cut it down to only 2 slits. Let me go ahead and do that for you. I always go the wrong way. Okay. 2 slits only. All right, so now just the 2 slits instead of fully open. Still same great flavor. As a matter of fact, it bumps it up even just a little bit more. So if it's too airy on the full, use the two rows. It's absolutely perfect then. Now for the 1 row, I suggest the 1 row for like the single coil, the mesh deck. I think that those would use the single airflow more than having it like this, obviously. But if you like it, we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. So there is the single slit. So let's go ahead and take a vape with that one. Still getting great clouds, still getting great flavor, but you can feel the restriction, which is a definite pro. It's actually got an airflow system that goes down, but you can feel the difference. So that's great. Now, is it mouth to lung? No, it's not. It's definitely not mouth to lung. Can it be taken down a little bit more? Almost all the way closed. Let's try it. 2 holes. You can do it. You can do it. You can do mouth to lung. Even if you take it down to 1 hole, you can do mouth to lung. So if you were doing mouth to lung with this e-liquid capacity,
you would be here for days without having to fill it.
That's amazing. So I would never use this as mouth to lung, but if you like mouth to lung, you out there, I'm talking to you, then you would like it. It does bring it drastically down. I've actually got it just on like 1 hole and you can do it. You can do it. You can have anything you want with this Aromamizer Plus V2. You can do anything you want with this Aromamizer V2. In addition to that, it takes 5 different decks. The same 5 decks that are available for the original Aromamizer Plus are available and do fit the Aromamizer Plus V2, which I will totally tell you, in all honesty, I was scared that it was going to be different. I honestly was scared I wasn't going to like it as much as I do because I love this one so much. I was like, how? How can they make it even better where I'm going to like it? And when it showed 8 ml capacity or 16, I was like, come on. The original I had started with 10 and 20. How can that be? But it's good. It's really, really good. If you like the Aromamizer Plus and you have the Aromamizer Plus, you definitely will love this one. If you don't have the Aromamizer Plus, you can get this one and convert it into the original anyway. All you have to do is just put the 10 ml glass on it, put the top on it, you're good to go, and it's just like the original. So either way, whether you love your Aromamizer Plus and you want to upgrade it and make it even bigger capacity, but you don't want that 20 ml tall glass, you can use this. You can do so much with it. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, there are so many options. I'm hoping that I got as many options to you as possible. I wanted to take my time. This is going to be a longer video than most, but I wanted to touch on every single facet of it. Now, with the standard size, with the regular 8 ml glass, it's actually from the bottom of the 510 to the top of the drip tip, 57.5 millimeters tall. With the 8 ml glass capacity, which is the thin one, With the extension, it's 77.2 millimeters tall from the bottom of the 510 to the top of the drip tip. So that's what you can do. If you don't have the bubble glass or you don't have the 10 mil glass, you're still getting great capacity. You're still getting great everything. You really are. I mean, they sent this to me for review, but I had already purchased all the other ones that I had. So there's, I've been a lover for this since February 14th of 2017. Yes, I just made the 3-year anniversary with the original. And I have the original, the one that you couldn't use the drip tip, open it up with the drip tip in it. If you had a custom drip tip, it slid off and yeah. I mean, I've literally had it from the very first one. And then I upgraded to the limited edition and loved that one. When I saw that they were discontinuing the Aromamizer Plus, I was literally sad. Sad for those that couldn't try such a great RDTA. But they did it. They improved it. They made it everything that this is, and they added some to it. So I think that's absolutely amazing. If you're interested in this at all, even if you're interested in this one, you couldn't find it, this is going to work for you just as well. Of course, not with the huge capacity. I can actually bring this down if I wanted to. Let me go ahead and bring it down. Okay, so I took off the extension piece. Now you can only take it off if you don't have it filled up. For me, I actually only had enough e-liquid to go a little bit up over it. Because I have to make more of that flavor because I really love it. So it was only like a little bit more, and I had already vaped it to where it was actually just down to the bubble glass. So I can take off the extension. When you're taking off the extension or taking it apart, always remember to lock your juice flow and close your airflow. With any RTAs, most of them don't have a juice flow control, but they do have airflow control. You want to close that. If it has a juice flow control, you want to close that too. Always make sure juice flow control down is closed, airflow is closed. When you're done filling it, make sure you open them back up too, because a lot of people will forget to open it up. What happens? You're not going to have a good experience, I promise you. So yeah, so now basically, if you are wanting the Aromamizer Plus, but you can't find it anywhere because it's been discontinued, you can actually get the Aromamizer Plus V2 and make it look almost identical. It works exactly the same way. They're about the same size. Everything up until the drip tip is exactly the same size. My drip tip is a little bit longer, so it does give you that. But yeah, so you can make it just an original Aromamizer Plus if you want to. You will need the additional glasses, of course, if you want to make them a little bit more capacity. But all that stuff is on shop.steamcrave.com. So you can find any of those accessories there. I mean, they have so many accessories. You can purchase separate decks if you want to. If you want a single coil deck, a series deck, a mesh deck, a pulseless deck, anything extra that you want, you can actually purchase this straight from their website. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. The only things I don't like on this are going to be the juice flow control is tight. It's still tight, well, for me, because they're supposed to be updating it. But because I have one of the first ones that were actually made, my juice flow control is kind of tight. Even though I've lubed it up, it still stays a little bit tight. The airflow control, when you first get it, could be tight. Just lube up the airflow area O-rings, and you're going to be fine. That's not giving me any problem, but this juice flow control still is tight no matter what I do. So that's the only con. And again, they are already fixing that. They already know about that. So them taking the information from the reviewers or for the people testing it out and fixing those issues is definitely key for STEAMCRAVE. They have the best customer service. They have the best devices or atomizers, in my opinion. Now, in RDA mode, when you shrink it down, you can go ahead and use the Squonk Pin. That's another plus that I did forget to mention. Now, with that, they do have a Hadron 220 mod. The Hadron 220 mod is actually coming out with what they call a backpack section. That's going to make it so if you have the mod, you can add that to it, or you can purchase the whole kit, and that will make it a squonk mod as well, so that you can actually squonk with it, and it's big enough to hold a 30 mil atomizer. So best of both worlds. Anyway, so if I do get those, of course, I'm going to bring it to you, but I did want to bring you this, but I wanted to take my time with it. I wanted to test it out thoroughly. I didn't want to just throw it out at you. I wanted you to see all the ins and outs and how you could take it apart and you can make it yours. And that to me is definitely key. So yeah, so that's pretty much it for my review. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I'm here to answer all of them. Again, the mesh deck review is going to be linked down below. I'll probably try to add a card here too. if I can figure that out, because every time I add a card, it doesn't go where I want it, but I'll go ahead and I'll put it on there. So that way you can see how to build and wick the mesh deck as well. Remember, you can use any mesh strips. It doesn't have to be STEAMCRAVEs. It could be any mesh strips that you can use in it, and they all work because I have tested it. So I think that's it for my review. I don't know what else I can tell you. Please let me know down in the comments. Are you excited for this if you already have the Aromamizer, or are you excited for this because you don't have one, you've been looking for one? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.